Hello, and welcome to Flower Philosophy. Today's show is about Bank of Thieves. But before we go into that, this is Aunt Gina. Before we go into that, I wanted to talk about a situation that I have experienced in my lifetime, possibly a lot of you have experienced in your lifetime because it's part of life. Many of us have been assaulted, right? Am I correct? It's an unfortunate thing, and it has happened to me 7 times. 2 times outside of a restroom. So I always tell little girls, be careful where the restroom is, because sometimes it's right by an exit, and you have to be very, very careful. One time I was at work, and I went to use the restroom, and I opened up the door, and the maintenance man was there. That was, I was 17 at the time. That was enormously scary. Turns out I got him in jail. Then again at 40, these are just the restroom incidences. I was in a restroom, and the music was very loud. It was New Year's Eve, and I come out of the restroom, the stall, and there's a woman there, a very large lesbian woman, and that was not good. That was not good. So be careful of that, but I talk to people about that every now and then, especially, you know, okay, be careful about this because it could happen to anyone. And I think I'm pretty tough and I lift weights and all of that. We're being assaulted by the banking industry. And this is part of the assault. Okay, all this right here, you know, these are the fishing lines. They're fishing for people to open up their mail, and which I have tons of. Oh God, I spilled some tea. Okay, all of this, no annual fees. I mean, it's on and on and on. So I saved these, and what I did with them is I pulled out of them these envelopes that they give us. Okay, these are the envelopes that are inside those the bait, inside the bait. Okay, and this is my newest grandbaby that I actually started in 2007 when Bank of America started, you know, taking advantage of everyone. It's called bankofthieves.net. Will work for bank fees. And how much have they stolen from you? So these business cards, which are available to you, go inside these envelopes, and then we mail them back to the banks. It's called a silent protest. This is passive aggressive. These business cards also get distributed to as many people as we know, so we could change the banking industry, which is robbing us blind of our disposable income. One bank manager in North Carolina that I happen to know bragged about how in 1 quarter, I believe it was a quarter, it could be a month, but I'm going to say a quarter just to be on the safe side, $53,000 in overdraft fees. That was one bank. Overdraft is a made-up term by the banking industry. I'd like you to get in touch with bankofthieves.net, dialarose.com, sponsored by me, and let's see about moving the campaign a little bit forward. If you're interested in creating wealth back here in America, we are going into poverty. People say it's the housing industry, it's this, it's that. It's the banks. It's the banks. Everything goes right back to the banking industry. In 1917, Chase Morgan, whatever his name is, he started the Federal Reserve. These are very clever men that have figured out a way to capture our pennies. They are nickel and diming us to death. They make up terms. They pray on their knees to develop more fees. And that's what my purpose is all about. Right here, these incredible books. Okay, these incredible books. I'm studying them, but I want to tell you one situation. I had written a check to someone, and I had put the date of when the check was to be cashed. They cashed it 6 days early, even though the date on the check was there, and they overdrafted my account. Before I could catch it, I had no idea, and then all of a sudden I found out $300 in overdraft fees. And I went to the bank manager. I said, what's going on here? The check is clearly marked. Why did it even go through? Well, we could cash it if we want to. We don't have to cash it. We can cash it. I said, well, give me the policy. She was just stuttering and stuttering. So she gave me all of these policies, and if you read them, the banks can do whatever they want. It doesn't matter about, they're lawless. It doesn't matter about what's right or what's wrong or what's fair. It's whatever is in the best interest of the bank. So I put my mom on that task. She bothered that lady. Anyway, the manager's no longer there. And that's what happens. They only hire, banks only hire concubines to the kings. They hire people who are willing to stand there like a puppet and take a beating when people go there and say, I want my money back. You've got to be a certain person to be able to withstand that type of agony when people are, listen, I need my money back, Shin. And it's very interesting. I know it's my life's work, other than, of course, selling magnificent, beautiful flowers from the heavens. I mean, flowers are from God. He loves us. I have to tell you one other thing I do. I'm putting together a 12 rainbow vase deluxe. Red, lavender, white, pink, peach, and then I'll add some mixed flowers to it. This arrangement has a lavender bow in it. It's just lovely. This right here is a standard, and I would add more greens to it and charge $65 for this delivered. I purposefully made Dial-A-Rose into a very affordable delivery service of flowers because it's so important to be able to express our love. And as children, didn't we pick flowers from the fields and give them to Mom? I know I did. I remember going in our backyard. We had a forest close by, as I recall. Of course, probably it was just a little area, but as a child, you know, it's so grand. And I used to pick the flowers and wrap them in aluminum foil and give my mother bouquets when I was a child. We are children still. We're never going to grow up when it comes to God. I mean, we're transparent to Him. And as we become older, the children become transparent to us. So I wanted to tell you, first of all, I get so angry. Turn anger into action, and that's what I'm doing now. I'm very angry with the banking industry for robbing my brothers and sisters. I'm in the trenches. I see what goes on. I hire people. I know they're suffering. I've never seen it this bad in my entire career. I have never been brought to this level of income ever in my life, and it's only getting worse. No way. You can afford to buy flowers with Dial-A-Rose, and people can't afford $20. It's that bad, and it's because of the banking industry. So one of the things I do every single day, doesn't matter the project, doesn't matter what I'm doing, I diary everything. Can't show you that. I diary everything. So this diary right here, which sits by the flower machine, is for flower philosophy. The one that sits by my music, I have a diary, every single thing I do. And then one that sits by the computer for my Dial-A-Rose and my interests with my flower machine on the computer goes right by the computer. So I'm always jotting things down. I do keep 3 diaries. I do have a bunch of different interests. You may just want to keep one diary somewhere close where you can log, date and log things that are happening in your life. Because one day you just might need to find out what you were doing that day and have proof of it. It's always a good idea to keep a diary. I learned a long time ago, I was watching some program, and someone went up and accused a man and said, you did this at this date, and he flipped through this book, and he goes, no, I was right here. And I went, wow, I have to do that. Being a business owner and an activist, I need to keep my wits about me and make sure that I'm extremely organized, and I'm always bringing up that very important skill on all of my shows. Oh, look at this. I was making a bow. Do you know, bows are really hard to make, and I make it look really easy, but I'm going to go ahead and make one right now. Okay. Yeah, it's so wonderful to put bows on things. I always tell Michael, I say, when it's my birthday, I want a curling ribbon bow on that box. I want bows. They make everything look cheerful and happy, and that's what we want. So what are you doing to make and bring or give joy to others. It's kind of my job, so I do have that advantage, but I try and do it all the time. Now, I have to admit, yesterday, I fell off the bandwagon. I fell off the wagon again, and I started throwing mud again. It was just horrible. I threw mud for hours. You know, being scorned is a horrible place to be. We need to be able to get over that quickly so that we can do the right thing by others and also be accountable for our actions before God. The banking system needs to be accountable for the things they have done against America. And if you are overdrafting your accounts, I make that look so easy. It's treason against this country. Everything you have, everything you do, whatever, simplify your life. I don't care whatever you have to do, not to overdraft your accounts and not to create late fees. Late fees are just as bad, but overdraft fees are the worst. The banks